Welcome, Blue Jackets fans, to another edition of Where Are They Now, presented by Huntington Bank, where we catch up with some of the most memorable names, faces, and players from the first 20 years of Blue Jackets hockey, and certainly have a fan favorite with us today, Vinny Prospal, who spent 2 seasons with the Jackets, 2012, 2013, joining us today. Thanks a bunch for doing this.
Good afternoon, and thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's great to see your face again. And you said 2 seasons with the Blue Jackets. You had a 16-year NHL career, played with 7 different teams. The last 2 were with Columbus. So I have to ask, what kind of stands out? You got to see a bunch of different places in the NHL. Also played a bunch of places in Europe and your home country as well. But what stood out about your time with the Blue Jackets? And what do you maybe remember the most from your time here?
Well, that I got really lucky because I didn't have a job before I signed. I was a free agent, and Christian Huselius had an injury through the summer, and Scott Housen signed me as a free agent, and I came in, and I really had the great 2 years there as a player and as a family. We found everything that we wanted from Columbus, and as a matter of fact, what stood out is that we have our puppy, our Maltese is from Columbus, so we have a certain memory from there. And but I'll tell you, it's I didn't know how nice Columbus was on the outside in the suburbs area. We found everything that we were asking for regarding the family life, and my time with the Blue Jackets on the ice was great as well. And I wish I could have continued there because that was basically the last NHL team that I ever played for.
Yeah, well, first of all, it's great to hear about the puppy or the dog. That's always a great memory to kind of take with you. And it did seem like you did enjoy, though, the time in Columbus. It seemed like it didn't take you very long to feel like you were part of the team, part of the community. Is that a fair assessment to say that it was a pretty quick transition, pretty easy transition for you in that way?
Very easy because regarding hockey, obviously I played few games before I signed in Columbus, and you get to know the players. Either you playing with them or playing against them, and it was uh, it was a opportunity for me to keep playing in the NHL, and I knew that if I come in and I'm ready, and I'll bring the right mindset, and I'll bring the right work ethic, then maybe I'll get a shot to play with Rick Nash, Jeff Carter, and those guys on the in the first couple of lines. And that's what they were looking for when they signed me, because Christian Huselius got hurt, as I mentioned, and it happened, and I was very fortunate to be put in that situation, and very lucky to have that opportunity to go and become a Blue Jacket again for 2 years.
Yeah, and you were part of some interesting times here in Columbus. That first year was a rough one. Scott Arniel ends up getting fired. There's the trades of Jeff Carter and Rick Nash. But that second year, the team brought in guys like Nick Foligno and some of the guys that are still a big part of this franchise to this day, and have been a big part of the turnaround of the franchise. You kind of got to see it that first year, that lockout shortened year, where you guys had that great run at the end of the season and almost made the playoffs. What was it like to be kind of that, part of maybe the beginning of the establishment of a winning culture here in Columbus?
Well, it was obviously GM has changed. John Davidson came from New no from St. Louis, I believe he came, and we started putting pieces together. And on the other hand, it was on one hand it was great to see that the organization is moving in the right direction, in a sense of winning and getting close to making it to the playoffs, because you mentioned it, we won our last game in the regular season, and we were waiting
Yes.
for, I do believe it was either Colorado or Minnesota, somebody like that, and we
Yeah.
were waiting for them how they will finish their season, and it will their last game, and it was depending on us if we make the playoffs or not. And I remember we were all sitting in the locker room and sort of hoping that they will lose, so we would be in the playoffs. But that was the time when I think the Blue Jackets really started taking strides into the right direction. And now with Torts being there and Yarmo still being there as a general manager, they have really had some success lately. And even though this year is not that great, but they still around, they still fighting for the playoffs. It's not. I do believe in towards getting the players ready to play every day, every night, and I do believe that the scoring is will get better, and they will make the playoffs because they are true Tortorella's team. They're really tough to play against, and they compete hard every night.
Yeah. Oh, and I did want to ask you about John Tortorella. You played with him at Tampa Bay. You played with him with the Rangers. I think you guys, you had your battles, but I think Torts has that with pretty much every player. But just as you look back, what was it kind of like to have those? I'm sure there's some good memories in there as well, because he's certainly a unique guy and someone, again, who's really made an impact on this franchise.
I'll tell you one thing. I miss Torts. I miss him, having him as a coach. I miss being around him as a person because he taught me a huge deal. And uh, one thing for every player that plays for him, you may not see it at that moment, but he's a man that wants to make you better. He wants to
Yeah,
make you better as a player. He wants to make you better as a teammate, and most importantly, he tried to make you better as a person. And I consider him a huge friend of mine, big friend of mine. It's someone that I truly look up to, and it's someone that I'm been trying coaching a little bit.
yeah,
It's his style of coaching is very similar to mine, because I think the way he pushes players, the way he goes about his daily business, the way he is hard on himself and his players throughout the season. He puts the game phase on at the first day of the training camp, and the game phase is on until the last game of the season.
for sure.
And he is a tremendous coach. He's a tremendous person, and I cherish all the days, all the memories, and I wish I remember a lot more stuff, from our days together. But he, I cannot say enough about what kind of coach and what kind of person he is. So I'm very thankful that I had the opportunity to play under him.
Yeah, and you mentioned just kind of this team coming down the stretch here. It sounds like you still pay a fair bit of attention to the teams that you played for, and including the Blue Jackets. What's it like for you to kind of watch and see how things are going these days?
Look, I mean, hockey's my life. I mean, it gave me huge possibilities. It gave me it has given me a lot of memories, and I keep close eye on the teams that I used to play for. I keep close eye on the what's happening in the world of hockey,
Yeah,
in the Czech Republic, in the NHL. Obviously, it's a something that I love very much. If you don't talk about the family or your health, but it's tough for the Blue Jackets this year because it's a shortened season, a lot of games.
yeah,
The scoring has not been there on all the occasions, but they compete. They play hard, and they're gonna be tough down the stretch. And you cannot write them off. They just have the knack on. I mean, look what happened on Tuesday. They beat the best team in the hockey.
yeah,
I consider Lightning, because I'm talking to you from Tampa right now. I consider Lightning. I mean, look, they the defending Stanley Cup champions. I do consider them the best team in the hockey right now, but Blue Jackets
yeah,
beat them, and they have the same the game starts 0-0 tonight as well. They have the same opportunity tonight. Obviously, it's going to be hard to do it on a regular basis for the Blue Jackets, because they are in the bit of a hole.
yeah,
But they have all the tools, and it's gonna be interesting to see what kind of team they become after Monday. If they're
yeah.
gonna be sellers or if they're going to be buyers at the deadline. It's going to be interesting to see.
Yeah, well, we can sit here and talk about the current team all day, but I did want to ask you a little bit more about your time on the ice with the Blue Jackets. And I think one thing a lot of people remember here in Columbus to this day is the point at the scoreboard in that game against Detroit, which I'm sure gets brought up every so often. But I think for a franchise that was, starting to build some momentum and starting to develop some swagger and some confidence, a lot of fans remember that as a moment that, the Blue Jackets finally had someone that was willing to kind of put that out there. So as you look back on it, obviously the smile on your face, what do you remember about that situation?
Well, I'm not sure if it's really the true smile, because it was quite a bit of cockiness. And being a coach right now, it's I would not be happy with the player, my player, if he would be doing it. On the other hand, at that moment, during the emotions, during the time during the game when we were beating the Detroit Red Wings, it was just something that I don't know where it came from, but I cannot take it back. I'm not necessarily saying that I'm very proud of that, uh, because I was right in the office with Todd Richards afterwards. But I just hope that we were able to back it up the next game in Detroit, and I didn't get beat up all that hard because of that. So I'll, but at that time, the Blue Jackets, they were not taking as seriously as they are maybe now. So it was just a stand. So even though I'm saying it on my part, it was a bit of a cockiness, and I'm not until today, I'm still not all that sure if I was the right thing to do. It hopefully it helped out the organization in a way they needed to be treated with a lot more respect than what they were getting back then.
Yeah, and I know the fans loved it, and it still gets brought up to this day, just because it was a moment where there was finally, after so many years of losing, there was a little bit of cockiness there. And I want to ask, even just kind of that stretch run in 2013. You mentioned that game at the end of the year against Nashville that you guys won. I was a fan at that game. I remember the incredible atmosphere of just the fans trying to will you guys into the playoffs. I think you won 8 of 9 down that stretch run. I don't know if that's something that stands out to you in your time with the Blue Jackets, but just what are kind of among your Blue Jackets memories that rank up there, or what maybe kind of stands out?
Well, I'll tell you one thing that stands out is what kind of great sports town the Columbus really is. And it was based the fans, they love the winner, right?
Yeah.
And we were getting there, we were winning on a regular basis, and even though it was just a shortened season, we were competing for the playoffs, and it would be for the people, it was a long time waiting. So they were filling the arena. It was that's what really stands out to me, like what the kind of sports fan the has the town of Columbus, the city of Columbus, because it's, I mean, look at the Ohio State University, right? That's right there. I mean, it's like they just love the winner. And Blue Jackets, they have a great owner, the Mr. McConnell. He was willing to invest. He wanted to bring more better players. He wanted to have and build the winning hockey team, winning a franchise. And at that time, you could already see it, how the fans were able to appreciate it, and how supportive they were of the Blue Jackets, because all of a sudden they didn't see us as a sidekick in the NHL. All of a sudden we were the getting a lot more respect from the oppositions.
That is true. And I also wanted to ask about maybe some teammates that stand out from your time here. You played 16 NHL seasons, so there's a lot of guys you'd have to stay in touch with maybe just from your different stops. But is there anybody in that regard from Columbus that stands out, or guys that you enjoyed getting that chance to play with here?
Obviously Rick Nash, because he's
Gotta play.
back now with the organization, which is awesome. And he was a true gentleman. He was a great teammate. Jared Ball, he's a guy who stands out. I played quite a bit with Derek Dorsett, so that's a guy who was great. Now, I had the opportunity a couple of years back when I was the assistant with the national team at the World Championship. I bumped into Cam Atkinson. I played with him some time as well. played with Brendan Dubinsky there and in New York. So that was really nice. And Sergei Bobrovsky, he was sitting beside me on the plane. We I could never believe like how much that guy was eating after each game, like because he had like 2 dinners and
Right.
he was like this thin. So it was really interesting, and I just don't want to forget everybody because you
Yeah.
said I very fortunate how long my career was, and I got to meet a lot of players, play a lot of guys, but all you cherish is the memories, and that's the most important thing that will always stand out. And the world of hockey is not that big, and I got to experience it when I retired and I started coaching youth hockey in North America, and then I moved to pro hockey in Europe. So it's been you bump once a while into people that you have not seen in ages, and you get to talk about the old days, and it's always fun to relive the memories. And hopefully once the world get back to normal again, and we get to travel a little bit more, I'll
Yeah.
plan on to stopping there. And I hope the Torts is still gonna be the coach. He's gonna be there, and I want to come up there and watch maybe a training camp or a few practices and some of the games, because I get the emails from Jody Shelley and from the organization, and
Right.
it's it's a great place, and it's a great organization, and I want to see them succeed.
Yeah. Well, we'd love to have you back. That's for sure. And I just kind of wanted to wrap it up. We do call this "Where Are They Now?" So we always have to ask, "Where are you now?" I know you mentioned you're down in Tampa. You've mentioned a couple of things about your post-playing career, but what's kind of post-playing life been like for you? I know you've done some coaching. I know your son plays hockey as well. So I imagine you've been able to kind of stay in the game quite a bit, even if your on-ice career was over.
Yes, I mean, I'm coaching is the closest thing to playing. I love the game very, very much. I'm actually gonna take a year off from the game right now because I've been gone to Europe coaching my hometown team on the pro level, and I've been away for 3 years from my family, and that's why I want to take a year off. But I want to get back to coaching. We now reside in Tampa, Florida. This is we have the opportunity because I spent few years playing for the Lightning as well, and it's a beautiful spot to be retired at. So we live in Florida as a family right now, and yeah, I want to get back to the game of hockey. Maybe one day I'll be picking up the phone and calling Yermo, see if there would be any opportunity for me to get back to the Columbus organizations. You never know.
Right.
So hopefully I have not. You mentioned that I played for 7 organizations, so hopefully I didn't burn the bridges everywhere I went.
That is true, and it sounds as though things are going great for you. It's perhaps fitting we did this interview on a day that the Blue Jackets are playing Tampa,
Yeah.
two-year-old teams, and so
Yes.
great. Yeah, great to catch up and great to hear the memories. I know a lot of Blue Jackets fans remember a lot of things you did for this organization, even though it was only 2 years. So thanks again for doing this.
Well, thank you. Thanks for having me, and to all the Blue Jackets fans, thanks for the support. And it's always great to be remembered and mentioned again. And I had fun doing this. So good luck to you all, and hopefully the Blue Jackets will make a strong push and see what happens on Monday.
Yeah, we definitely hope that. Vinny Prospal, ladies and gentlemen, we thank him for joining us here on the latest episode of Where Are They Now, presented by Huntington Bank.